Today we're going to talk about the writing process. The writing process is a series of steps you take to go from getting a writing assignment to having a finished product. And there are 5 steps in the writing process. The first step is pre-writing, and as this picture shows us, pre-writing is getting your ideas down on paper, brainstorming. This is when you come up with ideas for writing. This is also the part of the writing process in which you would do research if you were assigned a research paper. The next step of the writing process is drafting. Drafting is your first attempt at writing. This is when you organize your ideas and you put them down into sentences and paragraphs. So going back to my notes screen here, as we said, the first step was pre-writing, which is generating ideas for writing. And the second step is drafting. This is taking your ideas and writing them into sentences and paragraphs. This is your first real attempt at writing, and this is the part of the stage that we can call a sloppy copy. So this is when you don't have to worry about grammar, spelling, or punctuation. You're just trying to get all of your ideas out on paper. Now, a lot of students, when they get a writing assignment, they open up a notebook or they open up Microsoft Word and they stare at this very blank piece of paper or blank screen and they get writer's block. They can't think of anything to write down. Pre-writing is the step that will help you the most. Pre-writing will stop that writer's block. If you take the time first to think about what you want to write about and what details you can say that you can add to that topic, you won't experience that writer's block. Going back to my picture of the writing process here, the third step in the writing process is revising. This is where you look at the content of what you wrote. This is where you look at the meat of it. You look at, is it in the right order? Did you say everything you wanted to say? Is everything relevant? Do you want to add? Do you want to delete? Do you want to move the last paragraph to the beginning? Did you add enough detail? And then the fourth step is editing. Editing is where you erase and fix all your little errors. So I'm going to jump back to my notes page here and review those last 2 steps. So revising is looking at the content. It's looking at what you said and how you said it. This is where you decide if you really did put things in the right order, if you said everything you wanted to, if it's all relevant, if you added enough. Then we have editing. Editing is looking at your mistakes. This means you're looking at your spelling, your grammar, and your punctuation. Now, a lot of students tend to do steps 3 and 4 together. They write their draft, and then they give the entire draft a one look over, looking for their spelling, grammar, and punctuation, looking at their content, and then they turn it in. The problem with that is that if you're trying to look at your content and your mistakes at the same time, you're never going to catch everything. You should always look at content first, continuing to ignore your grammar, spelling, and punctuation, and then do a second read through looking for these little mistakes. And then the last step is publishing. This doesn't literally mean we're going to publish your work anywhere. This is just the final product. Everything is finished, it's ready to go, and it's ready to turn in. So going back to my notes page here for you, the last step is publishing. Again, that's the final copy that is ready to turn in. Okay, so let's review these steps one more time. The writing process is just a series of steps you take from being given a writing assignment to being ready to turn it in. First you pre-write, then you draft, then you revise, then you edit, and then you publish. So you think of ideas, you write those ideas down into sentences and paragraphs, you look at your content and make sure it all fits and it's complete, and then you look for your mistakes, and then you're all done. And as one final idea, if you're having a hard time remembering these steps in order, just remember PDREP. P for pre-writing, D for drafting, R for revising, E for editing, and P for publishing. PDREP. And those are the steps to the writing process.